allegiance,
Sure,
please.
absolutely. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Doctor. Roll call.
Mr. Chapman? Mr. Peach?
Here.
Administrator Jones?
I am here.
And Commissioner McIntyre's in Olympia for the monthly Board of Natural Resources meeting. Request for modifications to the agenda or approval.
Don't have any modifications to ask for.
Move to approve the agenda.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Public comment for agenda items. Is there any member of the public wishing to make comment on agenda items only? There is time at the end of the meeting for just general comment. Seeing as how we have very few agenda items, I'm not surprised anybody has any comment. Consent agenda.
Thank you. Item 1A is approval of vouchers for the week of October 26th. Item 1B is approval of minutes for the week of October 26th. And item 1C is approval of workers' compensation expenditures for the month of September.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Reports and presentations. So I is here to introduce the new county health officer.
Yes, Commissioners. We have with us today the new County Health Officer, Dr. Christopher Frank. He started September 1st, and he's been just running ever since then. And so we were able to work it into his schedule to be here today to introduce him to you and the public. Of course, you met him at the Board of Health. So, Dr. Frank, if you come up and say a few words.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. It's an exciting new job for me. I still have a few other things that I'm doing also. I'm still primary care doctor in the community. And so I'm looking forward to everything. I get about 50% congratulations and 50% condolences. So we'll see which side wins.
So are you staying in primary medicine?
I'm hoping to. I'm trying to figure out how to balance things right now. I've cut back my clinic a little bit, but I'm hoping that I can do it.
Great.
Welcome.
Welcome. Reports and presentations, Commissioner Beach.
Just a quick comment. Progress has been made on the behavioral health organization and the contract between us, Gibson County, and Jefferson County. And I'll have that document after I talk to Ida before the commissioners in the next week or two.
I know you've been working really hard and watching out for the county's best interests. Thanks.
Nothing for me.
Nothing. Other than I just, for the, maybe the press that was here yesterday, the board wrapped up the last of its budget meetings. You're spending this week preparing your final draft budget.
The next 2 days, it's going to be put in the Thursday night online for next Tuesday's
Next
board
Tuesday, we'll be calling for the public hearing.
Yes.
So you'll have a draft budget by Thursday,
Yes.
based on the conversations and all the meetings and
Yes,
a few adjustments that were made yesterday afternoon.
yes. And as I work my way through it, and I will inform the commissioners as is my normal practice, if I run into any conflicts, it just can't be done that way. I'll talk to you individually and ask for your advice, and I'll disclose all when I present it.
So would it be fair to meet you, are you available Friday if any members of the press have questions once you post your draft?
Yeah, I'll be good.
That's probably the best time for you
Okay.
to be free to talk about it, because you're still kind of
Yeah.
building it. So.
Yeah. Okay.
And if that document's available to the public starting Thursday afternoon, hopefully.
That's our plan. It's a lot of work.
You give yourself
Yeah,
enough time, did you?
No, not really.
That's tight.
Yeah, we cut this one a week later than we normally do, and it was just somebody who shall remain unnamed, when they built the budget calendar, didn't leave enough time between our final budget meeting.
You usually have a week and a half.
Yeah, we usually have a week and a half, so I've got half a week this time.
Do you have to call for the public hearing on Tuesday?
Yeah, because in order to have enough time for the hearing, so we don't really have a lot of, we'll get it done.
Okay.
Because the hearing's not till,
December 1st.
so you do have another week. You could call for
Potentially,
the
I could,
17th.
but the budget, yeah, calendar says it will be November 10th. Well, you're right, probably do it the 17th, because we only have
Maybe
most
2
2
weeks.
weeks.
Right.
But,
We
So
have
if,
light agenda on the 17th because of
that we're just calling for the hearing though.
yeah.
I mean, you said, don't, you need the extra time, take it.
Okay.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, because there's no reason to make, well, first of all, you want a document that you can, that's accurate.
We do want an accurate.
And you did have some new information come forward yesterday, more
Right,
information.
actually.
Honestly, really, if you need the time.
Okay.
I don't, just because your calendar said,
Okay.
you're not changing the public hearing.
No.
So as long as the public hearing date doesn't change, I have no problem if you need to take an extra week.
Okay, good, that's good to know.
So-
We'll make sure we do it right.
Yeah.
If we can't get it done, we won't.
Right.
Okay.
And I know there's some things you were checking on.
And there are.
So, okay. Are you good with that bill thing,
Yes.
extra week?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering about that when I left yesterday. I was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
you're right. Usually we have week.
Right, a few, and that's
Yeah.
fair. There were
Yeah.
new information from yesterday. Okay. It's your call, but if you need to
Okay.
take it,
Oh, good. I think Debbie will be incredibly relieved
I would think so.
to hear that's possible.
Plus, I know one thing, you always build it and then you take a day and just kind of look.
I
You take
very
a whole
much
day,
like to
and
read.
you like to go through the
I
whole
do.
thing one last time.
I very much
You wouldn't have time to do that this time. And it would be better that you do that before we post it.
Let's just plan on it.
Okay, all right.
Good, good.
We won't present it until the 17th.
So,
Well, I had a good time going through the detail of your numbers. Tried to catch them over and over and over and over.
Right.
His work is excellent. really.
his work is excellent and more, but we want, he's always had enough time to make sure that
Yeah.
when it goes to the
We should
public.
keep it
So,
that way.
great, okay, let's just.
Yeah,
plan
great.
on that.
That will
Make that
definitely
fun.
make it more certain that it'll be an accurate copy. No question.
If no changes had been made from your first draft.
That would have been different.
But there.
We made a lot.
Yeah, and new information and.
Yeah.
Contracts and agreements.
Item 2A is an agreement with Lutheran Community Services Northwest to provide childcare associated with chemical dependency treatment services, maximum amount $3,511.
Move to approve the agreement for Lutheran Community Services Northwest.
Moved and seconded, any questions, comments?
And I should have said that also this funding is completely covered by the state grant.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Administration.
Item 3A is a resolution appointing a member to the Park and Recreation Advisory Board, namely James M. Whitney, appointed to a term ending June 30, 2021.
Move to approve the appointment of James M. Whitney to the Park and Recreation Advisory Board.
Moved and seconded, any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. No bids and awards, no budget, no community development, no public works, no public hearings, public comments. Is there any member of the public wishing to make general comment? Ken?
Good morning. Kenneth Green, one from Woodside. Most of the budget meetings, I find them personally interesting, and I'm glad that the county's able to meet some of the social needs of some of the people that are at the bottom that need those help. I echo the concerns about the folks that are abusing themselves and need our help to be saved and et cetera, et cetera. And my father has other thoughts about those folks, but I won't bring those up here publicly. Excuse me. Now, the shooting range came up again yesterday, and I spoke on this previously when this was approached, and I'll reiterate my stance in that I think that this area at 40 miles from Forks by road is, not an appropriate place. Perhaps that if they could find a place closer to their needs, serves a fairly limited group of folks. I don't live far from that area, so I am concerned about the noise and other types of pollution associated with that. Also, I'm concerned about transferring a half a square mile of land out of DNR to, produce trees to some other type of use. So, thank you.
And just so the board knows, based on yesterday's conversation, the lookup I did with Joel, we're planning to add $100,000 into next year's budget should we elect to do the SEPA to get it done. So that is going to be added coming up.
And I think the concern that you have, Ken, is being addressed through the process that we're going to go through. That process will include a review of alternative science. And one of the concerns I expressed was that I don't want someone to challenge what we are doing in terms of process as to whether or not we've done a proper job of looking at our alternatives, delineated wetlands, delineated streams. And so, yeah, it is. It's a fair amount of money, but if we're going to do it, my recommendation is to do it right.
And the SEPA does require an examination of at least 3 different locations. It requires it.
That would be done through a contract that the board would have
Yes.
to reapprove.
Yeah, you'd have to, yeah, there's no approval of spending, it's just authority if you decide to do it next year, from what I heard yesterday.
And then 3 sites would have to be identified ahead of time, which would help with our 3 sites identified.
I know there's 2, I don't know if there's a 3rd, I'm not sure how that works, but that's what I understand, the SEPA has, as part of the SEPA, you're supposed to identify 3 other places, and pros and cons of them. The contractor would have to do that.
So that would be further discussion.
Right, right.
So to further comment, I would also express my concerns now that the money angle has been broached, that this is a lot of money, especially with some of the discussions that went on during the budget meetings. You know, much smaller sums than this were brought forward as arguments against increases in budgets. I think that money could be much better used by the county for other purposes besides a shooting park. And, you know, I told you before, my preference was on drying for a shooting park, more population of it in that area too. But, you know, my thoughts is it's more for long guns, not for the smaller pistols and those types. And there is in the Middle Peninsula a private shooting range, at least one in that area, so that I observed a few years ago. Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to make a comment?
Thank you, Commissioners. Maggie Roth. I live at 3042 Mount Pleasant Road. I wasn't here yesterday on the shooting range issue, but I am glad to hear that it's going forward, and the reason why is the people in our county have waited 40 years for this. And my question is, you said $100,000. Is that in addition to the 70 that's in the budget, or you're going to bring it up to 100,000?
Well, there isn't 70 in the budget, there's only 7.
Is it 7?
Yeah,
So,
it's 7, and so it would be in exchange for that 7, we make it 100.
I think that it's time that we go forward with this. We've been promising the people of Clallam County for a long time that we were going to do something, and it has been campaign promises of every county commissioner who's come before this county, and it's about time that we do something. So I appreciate your efforts.
Thanks very much.
And Ken, just so you know, the 2 sites that have been previously identified are the one on Miller Peninsula and the one in Fort Townsend, or in Jeffco. I don't know where the 3rd one will be, but those 2 are going to be looked at pretty heavily, as I understand it.
And it's something you're probably not aware of, Ken, is the funding mechanism. There are different funds, and it doesn't make any difference. You and I are both taxpayers. If there's tax money involved, I want to make sure that it's being used properly. But the reality is that this is coming from a revenue source that's different than some of the other things you heard talked about. It'd be nice if we could move those monies around, but we cannot.
Anybody else wishing to make general comment before the board? Seeing no one, no executive session that I know of. So review the calendar, there's nothing left on our calendar until next Monday morning at 9 a.m. Do we have work session Monday, but 2 commissioners are gone Tuesday, is that it?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So we'll continue this week's meeting to next Monday at 9 a.m. No objections, so ordered.
Excellent.